This podcast is a production of the Salem Podcast Network. For more podcasts like this from courageous voices of conservative reason, visit salempodcastnetwork.com.
No Victocrats allowed because we've got a country to save. So let's get her teed up!
You want to play rock? Say hello to my little friend!
What the hell's going on out here?
Ooh, that's a bingo.
888-971-SAGE, 888-971-7243. I am Larry Elder, still receiving email from you at larryaelder@gmail.com. I've been asking you whether or not you think I ought to run. Please let me know what you think. larryaelder@gmail.com. Let me finish the rest of the interview that I had with Joe Piscopo this morning.
Larry Elder, he's an all-star, nationally syndicated radio talk show host. You see Larry absolutely everywhere. He is a friend, and I'm proud to call this gentleman my friend. He's a great guy, a great patriot, and so proud to have him on the show. Larry, welcome back to the program, my friend.
Super Joe, always nice to be here. Talk me out of this insane thing that I may very well lead into. Talk me out of it. Oh, my goodness.
You know, I'm talking to you last week, and I'm saying this, and you're so good on the radio, man. You know I love you, but I'm not stroking you. But you're so good on the radio. You bang, bang. People call me.
No, stroke. I love stroke. Please, we don't blow smoke, but you are so great, and you're quick, and everybody goes, Larry is great. Gosh, Larry Elder's great. Boom, 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 boom. And I tell them how we hang out and the conversations we have and the good time we have, for crying out loud. Then I talked to Tom Del Beccaro right after you. Wait, when Larry Elder runs for governor, I go, he never mentioned word one to me. You're buddy. You never mentioned the Piscopo. What? You forgot about me in Jersey, Larry. What do you think? Here's the deal. Here's the deal, Joseph. No kidding. I am inching towards making an announcement. It'll probably be early next week if I decide to do this. And right now, I'm just listening to people, and I'm asking people to drop me a line at larryaelder@gmail.com. larryaelder@gmail.com. Just let me know what you think. Do you think I ought to do this? Do you think I have a bigger platform doing what I'm doing right now? And I'm hearing from people and just listen to stories. The election, if I do this, Joseph, takes place on September the 14th. It's a two-part deal. The first is you go in and you ask yourself, do I want Governor Gavin Newsom recalled? If he's recalled, the second question is, who do you want to replace him? And there are a number of Republicans who've jumped in, some of whom have bigger name recognition than I do, most notably Caitlyn Jenner. But aside from that, I think I've been doing this for 30 years. I've been talking about California issues for 30 years. I'm up and down California. I'm in the market in Sacramento. I'm in the market in the Bay Area, in Riverside, in LA, of course, in San Diego. So I've got pretty high name recognition. And so many people have approached me, Joe, and said, we got to do something about this guy. I mean, this is a guy who, was in the French Laundry, one of the most expensive restaurants, not in California, in the country, running up a tab. Somebody told me of $30,000 with the very lobbyists, get this, Joe, with the very lobbyists who set forth the mandates that they were violating. They were not socially distancing. They were not wearing a mask, and they had just told everybody to shut down because of the coronavirus and completely ignoring their own mandates. It infuriated people, and that's one of the reasons why over 2 million people signed a petition to recall this guy. Something like 25% of them were Democrats. This is across lines. And some of the stories I'm hearing, there's a football coach in Oakland, Joe. Yeah. He has mostly black players. And many of these kids have no fathers. You know, I've talked about that being the number one problem in the black community, the absence of fathers. And he says, please don't shut us down. I'm giving these kids structure. I'm their father figure. Well, they didn't care. They shut down the whole program for a year, and 2 other players got into trouble with the law, one of whom is going to do time for years. Would not have happened had they been listened to, because these kids really needed this structure. Another guy told me about wage and hour laws in California. You're guilty until you're proven innocent. Guy operates a restaurant. Somebody files a claim for $65,000 in overtime that he wasn't getting. And my friend said, what? And checked around. The guy wasn't even in the state. He wasn't even in the state when he was filing for a $65,000 overtime claim. Wow. He had to go and defend himself. He had to hire a bunch of lawyers, and he wasn't going to settle, because once you settle, the bar then knows that you're a wish you could be rolled. He spent all this money. The guy wasn't even there, and finally he won the case. But you are guilty until proven innocent, not the other way around. Another guy told me about, he had a real estate development project about 20 years ago, would have built 2,000 homes. Because of the Environmental Quality Act, somebody went and tried to stop it. He proposed a project for 1,000 homes, stopped that, 500 homes, stopped that. Ultimately, 20 years later, got approved for 200 homes as opposed to 2,000. One of the reasons the cost of living is so high is because there's a shortage of housing. Economics 101. California has a shortage of land? Are you kidding me? What we have are a whole bunch of greenies who are running the state. Democrats have been dominated by for decades. There's a magazine called CEO Magazine, been in existence for 17 years. For 17 years, Texas has been determined to be the number one state in which to do business. For 17 years in a row of all the 50 states, California has been dead last, and it is still dead last. People who were born and raised here are leaving, and some of these are families, $50,000 to $75,000, and they're going to Texas, they're going to Tennessee, they're going to Arizona, they're getting out of Dodge.
Yeah, it's so true. And didn't Tesla leave? Just Tesla? And then Elon Musk got out of there went down to, I mean, that's huge. How could they let that happen, Larry?
And believe it or not, all the top 10 oil and gas companies used to be headquartered in California. Now none is headquartered in California. And don't get me started on the crime. Essentially, they've made it so if you steal $950 or less, it's a misdemeanor. You get a ticket. If they catch you, you're going to go to court. As a result, retailers like Target, like Walmart, are just shutting down or cutting down their hours because they can't afford the theft. They can't afford the insurance anymore. And then we got the problem of homelessness. That's got to be dealt with in a caring, compassionate way, but it's got to be dealt with. You can't sleep on the streets. Among other things, it's not safe for the homeless people. A lot of homeless people are attacked and die because other homeless people are attacking them. It's not safe for the non-homeless. And you have to start with the proposition that taxpayers have paid for these streets. You can't sleep on it. We got to figure this out. Building homes for them, which is what the solution is, doesn't work if you haven't dealt with the underlying problem. And many of these have mental problems. They've got alcohol problems. They've got drug problems. Until you make them self-sufficient, buying a house that they won't stay in anyway doesn't do any good. It's just taking taxpayer dollars. I think we ought to get the churches involved. I talked to a lot of religious leaders and said, look, let us handle this. Let us adopt a block, adopt the street. Let us deal with this. We know how to deal with this better, more compassionately, more humanely, and more cheaply than government can.
Yeah, Larry, you are so on fire, and I have to say, first of all, also the shutdown. Gavin Newsom shutting down businesses. I mean, he's got a gate around his home. He's got this multi-million-dollar home, and yet he just shuts down everything else around him, and that hurt businesses in an irreparable way. And when you look,
absolutely.
When you look at, when I look at Venice, you look at what's happening in Venice. Goodness gracious, with the homeless and the people attacked. And what about San Francisco? Nancy Pelosi's backyard, Maxine Waters, Adam Schiff, Swalwell, all these people from out there. They're losing touch with reality. But you know what? It's an elitist attitude. Larry, you're a person of the people. That's what we love about you. And everything you just mentioned makes more sense than I can tell you. No one in California is thinking like you do, my friend.
Joseph, 50% of public school kids in California cannot read at state levels of proficiency. 75% of black kids can. Meanwhile, schools shut down for a year. You're already behind. Now you've lost another year. By the way, Gavin Newsom's kids, private school, in-school learning kept going. He also exempted his own business from the coronavirus mandates. And this guy has got to go. And that's the main thing, Joseph. I don't really care that much who succeeds him. I hope I do. But the number one thing is he's got to go. And the first step is at least 50% plus one vote of people have to recall him first before you then enter the name of the person you want to succeed him. So unless he goes, all of this is just a complete waste of time.
That's so true. Okay. I'm talking to you. This is Larry and Joe talking, okay? We're backstage somewhere. We're talking, okay? Here it is.
And no one's going to know. No one's going to know. Okay. Just the two of us.
No one's listening. Yeah. Listen,
Larry. We're whispering like Joe Biden does. Joseph. We're whispering like Biden. Yes. Larry.
That's great.
Larry, do you really think you have a shot? Yes, Joe, I think I really do. That's why I'm doing
this. Who came up with that for Joe Biden?
More on that later on this hour. Coming up next, we're going to talk to Tom Del Beccaro. We talked to Ann Dunsmore of Rescue California yesterday. Tom Del Beccaro is with Recall Governor Gavin Newsom, another organization instrumental, probably the most instrumental in getting this recall election set, which will take place on September 14th. 888-971-SAG. Stick around for the rest of my interview this morning with Super Joe Piscopo. I am Larry Elder. Larry Elder here again with a message for anyone struggling with pain, like I struggled with for years. And of course, I want you to know about Relief Factor, the 100% drug-free supplement that tens of thousands are now taking every day. Obviously, I'm taking it every day because I like being out of pain. But I know you may be skeptical just like I was. But then I kept hearing about all the people who are no longer in pain, so I decided to give it a try. In fact, listen to Janice's story.
I was skeptical at first. But because of the pain that I was having when I would substitute teach and have to climb stairs, so I have lower back, hip, and even knee pain. And after about 3 weeks, I found that I could climb stairs pain-free. But it wasn't only pain-free, I could do it step over step without holding on the railing. I'm really happy. It makes me feel like I'm young again.
That's ReliefFactor.com or call 800-500-8384, 800-500-8384.
Call the Larry Elder Show now at 888-971-SAGE. That's 888-971-7243. El Dorado's Let Larry Know What's on Your Mind.
Hey, they still under $950. Like I said before, you get a citation, right? There are no consequences to hold people accountable because excuses are what is given out by certain politicians. In a sense, I feel like that character Scar from The Lion King, I'm surrounded by idiots because they say the most idiotic things to justify bad behavior. And so chaos runs supreme here.
Lieutenant, I want to read this statement from Target. I don't know if I've ever heard a statement like this from an American company. Maybe you have. For more than a month, we've been experiencing a significant alarming rise in theft and security incidents at our San Francisco stores, similar to reports from other retailers in the area. With the safety of our guests, team members, and communities as our top priority, we've temporarily reduced our operating hours in 6 San Francisco stores. Has that ever happened before?
No, that's not a business model plan. You're in business to make a profit, and now you're reducing hours, lessening your profits, because people are coming to your stores and cleaning you out. Why would you stay open? Who would do that in their right mind?
888-971-SAGE, 888-971-7243. I am Larry Elder. We are ReliefFactor.com studio. One of the big issues, if I decide to enter this race, of course, will be the rising crime here in the state. And as you've just now heard, essentially we've legalized theft as long as it's under $950. Here's some of the rest of my interview this morning with Joe Piscopo.
It's a great
Oh, man. You hear him lying about the baseball game the other day? You hear about that?
What was that? The baseball game?
Okay, he says, my kids have met kings and queens when I was in the Senate, but they only remember one thing, and that was the first congressional baseball game we got, and I hit a home run at the old RFK Stadium, 368 feet down the line. The man went 0 for 2. He went 0 for 2. And the next year, he got lost on the way to the game, never got there. Who lies about that?
I know.
He lied about visiting Nelson Mandela. Okay, we got that. He lied about the civil rights record. We got that. He lied about the NAACP supporting him in all the races when they supported him in none. But who lies about that when it can be checked?
He does. I know. Larry, listen.
Yeah.
So they wanted me a couple years ago.
Super Joe, go Steve. Back, way back. And Joe Biden has just cleared the fences. He's rounding the bases. My goodness. Joe Biden has done it again. Went 0 for 2.
At the press conference after the game, I just hit the ball out of the stadium. He whispers back.
I just tried to put the bat on the ball and it went out. I don't know what happened.
It's so creepy. It's weird. Listen, so they wanted me to go and run for governor when Governor Murphy ran, and then the lieutenant governor under Chris Christie, Kim Guadagno, great gal, ran, and I stepped down for Kim because she's great, a great gal.
Right.
But the Republicans have a terrible time winning. And it's amazing what Chris Christie did do and how he won in such a big way. And I was supposed to run, and I stepped down and my poll numbers, and I know you're going to have this, the poll numbers are higher than the established parties. My poll numbers were higher than the Republicans, and I was just nipping at the heels of the Democrats. And everybody, I had John McLaughlin with me. I had, with permission from President Trump, to get the president's pollster with me, and I was ready to go. Many ways, and again, the platform is just here on this mission that we have on Salem Media. But you nationally, me here in New York, and everybody's listening. I kind of I regret not jumping in. Timing is everything. I should have jumped in.
Timing is everything, Joe.
I did, and I think I could have beat Governor Murphy, who's one of the nicest guys I've ever met. But the state is in complete disarray. It's so mismatched. And again, not to attack the governor, but I could have gone in. Everything that you talked about, I knew about. And you know what's going on. Plus your feel of people at risk, your feel of when you say fathers have to be there. You could be a national standard, Larry Elder. You could be a national standard. They're not. The Democrats don't care about the kids in the inner cities. It's like even my buddy Geraldo said on TV the other day. Yesterday he says it's a civil war. What's happening in Chicago? Look what happened in Indiana. Police officers are being shot. Kids are out there. They don't, because there's no consequences. You could write the book. You could change the country. I think you should go for it, Larry. That's my friend. That friendly advice. I love you. You'll always have this to fall back on. And by the way, but you see, you don't have the problem I have. I got ex-wives, children, all at every exit. You know. It's like, so I got to keep working.
Joe. Huh? Every saint has a past. Every sinner has a future. Yeah. Don't let that stop you. That's my concern too. I've done stuff. Who wants all this stuff exposed? But that's trivial compared to what's going on right now. Exactly. So I may very well jump in, and if I do, it'll probably be on Monday or Tuesday. But you're right. Timing is everything. I think I would regret it if I didn't do it.
I think you go, and then you know what? If let's say something happens, and then the machine comes in, you state your case, Larry. You state your case, and that's why I regret not going in, because I could have said, look, here's how you stop taxes, here's how you help the inner cities, here's how you help the children, and here's what you have to do. Then all the problems you just mentioned, I don't hear word one from Gavin Newsom. I don't hear word one from out of the White House. We're being hijacked as a nation, and you need rogues like yourself to go in who really believe it. And you know what else, Larry Elder? You lived it, man. You live it, and you walk the walk. You talk the talk, but you walk the walk, and you're right there. Read your books, listen to you on the radio, watch you on TV, and you know what? And you know how to stay out of pain with Relief Factor. What more do they want? I'm just asking.
And Joseph, regarding my background, personal life, this is a guy, Governor Gavin Newsom, who had an affair with his campaign manager's wife. The campaign manager was his best friend. Who has an affair with his best friend's wife, and the best friend is serving as his campaign manager? I've never done anything like that, Joe.
Oh man, no.
If Larry, that's bizarre, come on.
You are a saint. Listen, please let us know, and we're behind you 1,000%. And I'll tell you what, I will offer you this: when you win, I'll come in. I'll do a whole set as Frank Sinatra at your inauguration party. How about that? I mean, come on.
That's a deal.
You know what I'm saying? Larry, we love you. In all seriousness, Godspeed, my friend. You're a special guy. You're one of the great ones, Larry Elder. God bless. Godspeed, my friend.
So just let me know what you think at LarryAElder@gmail.com. LarryAElder@gmail.com. Am I a politician or what, Joe?
Yeah. No, you're the real deal, my friend. You're the real deal. Love you, Larry. Thank you, my friend. Thanks so much.
God bless. Thanks, Super Joe. Ciao.
There's the man, Larry Elder. Come on, how great. Governor Elder. Yes, that would be it. He understands everything.
Now, I mentioned that one of the big reasons I'm running is because of the rising crime. It's also rising in New York. When Al Sharpton becomes the voice of reason on crime, we have to make sure we balance our outrage with what's going on in the streets, then it's bad.
It is a very, very serious problem. I was in a place called Beebe, Arkansas yesterday doing the eulogy of a funeral of a young white teenager named Hunter Britton that was killed by police. But the irony is when I got to Little Rock, Joe, to prepare for the sermon yesterday, a black that was working in the restaurant said, I hope you go over to what was the black community and talk about these kids shooting each other. 4 kids killed each other over the weekend. There is just as much concern about what is going on with gun violence, this kind of violence that you're talking about. In Chicago, 100 people shot over the weekend. We must have the balance of outrage where we are outraged if police do things in blue uniforms, but outrage when we have people in blue jeans that are openly being criminal, acting like it's normal in our...
Wow. Al Sharpton, sign of the apocalypse, voice of reason. I'm Larry Elder. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation helps us keep our commitment to never forget. Larry Elder here. This year, the foundation is honoring Gold Star and fallen first responder families with young children and catastrophically injured veterans and first responders with 200 mortgage-free homes. Chairman and CEO Frank Siller is paying tribute to the fallen by walking from the Pentagon to Shanksville and on to Ground Zero. More than 500 miles through 6 states in 42 days, the month of August through 9/11. Towers of light are to shine at the Pentagon and Shanksville memorials in remembrance. The names of those we lost to 9/11 related illness are being read aloud at a ceremony on September the 12th. And on Veterans Day, the names of all we lost in the War on Terror will also be said out loud. Do good and help America to never forget. Donate $11 a month to Tunnels to Towers at T2T.org. That's T, the number 2T.org. T, the number 2T.org.
All across America, The Larry Elder Show.
I don't care if somebody decides to loot a Gucci or a Macy's or a Nike, because that makes sure that that person eats. That makes sure that that person has clothes. That's reparations. That is reparations. Anything they want to take it, because these businesses have insurance. They're going to get their money back. My people aren't getting anything.
888-971-SAGE, 888-971-7243. I am Larry Elder. We are ReliefFactor.com studio. Article, National Review headline, San Francisco grapples with brazen shoplifting spree, much of it caught on camera. This May, Walgreens announced it's closed the store. That's 17 over the last 5 years, citing substantial losses it suffered from shoplifting. CVS, a competitor, has labeled San Francisco, quote, one of the epicenters of organized retail crime, close quote, and Target has adjusted its policy to meet the challenges of operating in the Bay Area, staying only open from 9 in the morning until 6 at night. Here is what the San Francisco Lieutenant Tracy McGray said.
Hey, they still under $950. Like I said before, you get a citation, right? There are no consequences to hold people accountable because excuses are what is given out by certain politicians.
Now, as I mentioned, Tom Del Beccaro is chairman of California Rescue.org. You take away his organization and his efforts, this probably would not be happening, this recall election. He is an author, attorney, speaker, columnist. He's written a couple of books. One is called The Divided Area. The other one is A New Conservative Paradigm. Please welcome Tom Beccaro to the program.
Hey, Larry.
Tom, how are you?
Great to be on. Are you there?
Tom, are you going to talk me out of this?
No, certainly not. And it's good that you joined the fray. You got to add me to the list. I'm also a witness. When I went to the store where I live in Northern California, they just walked right in with backpacks, a grocery store, filled them up at the liquor section, walked right back out. Nobody does anything. Nobody gets arrested. And the DA in my county says, if there's going to be press charges, you have to first ask, do they need it? If they need it, there's no press charges. It's just ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
And someone, would you say that to a little kid that everything you do is okay? But so we get what we tolerate. And that's why I started CaliforniaRevival.com, which was the PAC that wrote the first two big checks for the recall, and then RescueCalifornia.org. We've raised and spent over $3.4 million. And this is about government accountability. Can we as citizens, even in this one-party state, force the government to respond when its policies and politicians are doing bad things? And I think if I asked you, the answer would be yes.
Well, that's why I'm considering doing this, Tom, because we just can't let this go without trying to do something about it. Some of the issues I wanted to run by you, Tom, I'm going to cite the issue. You describe it, and then tell me what you think we should do about it. Crime going up.
Well, we went through this in the 70s. I'm originally from New York, and David Dinkins was running New York City, and we went through this thing where it's the victims of society. It is not, there's no personal responsibility. And then we got Giuliani, who cracked down on crime, and the city became livable again. The answer to crime is not less police. It never has been in history. It never will be. That doesn't mean that we should go over the top. It doesn't mean that we should racially profile. It doesn't mean all the hot button items. But at the end of the day, you either have a rule of law with consequences or you have the chaos. And remember, the cynical Democrat politicians like the chaos because then they say we need more government control in other areas as well.
Now, Tom, is it or is it not the case that it was voters that voted to basically decriminalize anybody that steals less than $950?
Well, it depends on where you go. Keep in mind, I remember back in the 80s, Stockton, California said that they were not going to prosecute crimes under certain level of crimes, and then all those crimes came in. You had places in San Francisco where the DA says, I'm not going to prosecute public camping. You know what public camping is?
No.
Homelessness. That's the
nice term for it,
camping.
Yeah.
And so you get these kind of things. So yes, in some ways the voters are either not paying attention or going along with it, but this is the consequence. It's a failed policy. And by the way, it's nationwide hurting the Democrats right now. This isn't just California, but you know who's going to pay for it in California is Gavin Newsom. The number one issue that is dogging Gavin is the fact that he let 20,000 people out of jail early, and he's making eligible another 70,000 people to get out of jail even though they haven't served their terms, and that's why RescueCalifornia.org exists, and we need your help.
Well, Tom, please don't go away. When we come back, I want to ask you about homelessness. I want to ask you about the quality of life. I want to ask you about the huge prices that people are now paying for homes in California. And did I read that California is paying meth addicts money not to be meth addicts?
America, we have a country to save. And now, here's Larry Elder.
Hey, Larry, this is Steve calling from Birmingham, Alabama. Just watched you on the Hannity Show. I support you. Don't live in California, but I support you 1,000%. We need someone with integrity, honesty, and common sense in this nation, particularly bringing California back. Go for it. 100,000% behind you.
Larry, I love you, man. I'm just saying that. I have no reason to say that other than the fact that I listen to you all the time. I'm here in Chi-Town, which is Chicago, by the way, the murder capital of the world. And I just want to let you know that you speak the truth, my brother. And I love you, man. See ya. Bye.
888-971-SAGE, 888-971-7243. I am Larry Elder. We are ReliefFactor.com studio. If you're a homeowner, you still need to consider a mortgage refinance while rates are still low. I mean it. You could miss out on hundreds of dollars in monthly savings. Don't let that happen. Call American Financing, America's home for home loans, and take advantage of a free, no-obligation mortgage review. There's no pressure, no upfront or hidden fees. They're not like that. This is a company that's in it for you, doing whatever it takes to save you up to $1,000 a month without resetting your loan. Because at American Refinancing, they can write any term, 10 years and over. You may even postpone 2 mortgage payments. So don't put off a refinance any longer. Pre-qualify for free by calling 866-886-2026. That's 866-886-2026. Or visit AmericanFinancing.net. That's AmericanFinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLS, consumeraccess.org. I'm speaking with Tom Baccaro, the former chairman of the California Republican Party. Tom, you're going to have to back up. Explain to me how Gavin Newsom allowed 20,000 prisoners to go early, and you say he may release another 50,000?
70,000 more.
70,000 more.
You know, remember, as in general, the Democrats have pushed Prop 47, reduced the penalties for crimes. Gavin Newsom, in connection with COVID, emptied the jails to a very significant degree, including violent criminals, and made people eligible for parole. And now he wants to increase that amount dramatically. Remember, these are, in his mind, victims of society, not the people that were actually. And we at RescueCalifornia.org are going to be sponsoring events where some of these people have been affected dramatically by the violence of these people out of jail. Mark Klass of Polyclass fame has joined our effort. Gavin Newsom is making California more dangerous, and for that reason alone, he should be recalled.
So, Tom, he allowed these people to be released for, quote, humanitarian purposes because of COVID. And, of course, once they got vaccinated, and if they had COVID recovered of it, they're going to voluntarily go back and finish out their terms, right?
And I'm going to be pitching for the Yankees or against the Dodgers in the World Series.
And O.J. Simpson will find the killer of Ron and Nicole. All right. The California lawmakers just made a move to pay meth addicts, Tom, to stay clean. Senate Bill 110 would legalize contingency management, paying meth addicts money to stay clean.
And this is policy up and down the state. San Francisco houses homeless people, gives them syringes, delivers them food and drugs where they are, because in their mind, that's the humanitarian thing to do. Now, look, if you subsidize a problem, you increase it. Remember what Reagan said, government doesn't solve problems, it institutionalizes them. So this notion that you're going to pay people, gets tried here and there. We're going to pay you not to commit crimes, this, that, and the other thing. It's a temporary thing, but in the sense that people take the money, but it doesn't resolve the problem. It's just another government program, another bureaucracy, more money, ineffective results.
I'm talking to Tom Del Beccaro, former chair of the California Republican Party, chairman of RescueCalifornia.org. Tom, homelessness. What do we do about it?
Larry, homelessness is in some sense a very complicated problem, because the truly homeless, when you get to the core problem, are people with mental illness and severe drug problems. What you cannot do with them is simply put them indoors somewhere, because you're not treating the reason they became homeless. So you have programs in this state, they're going to allocate $12 billion and put these people in hotels. And what the proof in San Francisco and other areas have shown is, A, it attracts people to say that they're homeless, and because they get to go inside for free versus where they might have been elsewhere. But we also find it causes enormous damage to the places where they're being housed, and the taxpayers have to pay the bill. But most of all, it doesn't do anything about their mental illness or their drug problem. They're actually delivering them drugs in San Francisco. And as a result, it actually makes the problem worse for these people, because they leave themselves, no cure there. So this is just typical government. Let's create a program. We'll appropriate money, but we won't deal with the issue really. We won't be accountable. We'll just go on TV like Gavin Newsom and say, hey, I'm paying money. What we found is, even in our recent poll at RescueCalifornia.org, 41% of Democrats say he gets a D or an F on this issue, 71% of voters overall.
So, Tom, what should we be doing about it? What should we do? What would you recommend?
To that true group of mental illness and drug addiction, you have to treat them at this simultaneous to taking them off the street. You cannot not treat them, otherwise it's a failure. What you cannot also do, you cannot just allocate money. Look what's happening in Santa Barbara. In Santa Barbara, they have encampments near wildfire areas. All you have to do is put up a tent, and they'll put you in a hotel. You cannot advertise to the world that you're giving benefits, because that attracts people to the program. So step one, understand why government bloats it. Step two, really treat the core homelessness. And then I personally believe that you should get more charities involved, because charities do not want the person to be homeless as a government program that continues. They want to help people. So get the charitable community more involved with their actual treatment, train them, let the charities train them so that then they can go out and start to live normal lives.
Tom Del Beccaro, chairman of the RescueCalifornia.org organization. Again, Tom, thank you so much for coming on. It doesn't matter unless Gavin Newsom goes. It doesn't matter who replaces him unless he first gets voted out of office. So please, RescueCalifornia.org. Tom, God bless.
All right. Thank you, sir. Good luck with you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Larry Elder Show.
888-971-SAGE, 888-971-7243. I am Larry Elder. We are ReliefFactor.com studio. Let me know what you think about my running for governor. LarryAElder@gmail.com. LarryAElder@gmail.com. Give me your thoughts. Yesterday I asked you whether you thought Joe Biden had dementia. 95% of you said yes. Here's the zip poll question for tonight. Do you believe President Trump won the election in 2020? Yes or no? In order to participate, you must be a member of the Zip community. Go to your app store, download the Zip app by searching under Zip Poll USA. Be sure and use my code SAGE, SAGE. Did you hear about this dramatic body cam video showing police rescue of a 6-year-old girl who'd been kidnapped?
All right, I got it. 234 Williams on call. You see your hands?
Okay, what's your exact location?
Hands! Put your hands in the air. Stay right there. Stay right there. 10,602 Grafton Hall. Keep your hands in the air. Turn around. Back towards me. Turn around and back towards me.
10,602 Grafton Hall.
Keep walking back. 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 Get on your knees. Get on your knees. Stay right there. Stay right there. I think it's going to be 10. Stay on the ground.
10,508 Grafton Hall, 1-8.
Keep your mouth shut. Ready for it on thing with it. Phone up.
384 with 310.
Secure him. One more in the car.
One more subject in the car.
Open the passenger door! Open the passenger door! Driver or passenger? Hello.
It's okay. Come here. It's okay.
This took place in Kentucky. 40-year-old man grabbed a girl, placed her in the car, been charged with kidnapping of a minor. I'm going to be on the Hannity Show in about a half hour or so. There's just been a 5.9 quake rocking Northern California, followed by more than 30 aftershocks. Be sure and follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. And, of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Larry Elder Show Radio. Click it on, subscribe button. That way you'll be notified every time we post excerpts. And every morning, as you know, I do a 59-second or less rant. It's called Robe Rage on Instagram. I think you'll enjoy it. I am Larry Elder. We got a country to save. See you tomorrow.
That's enough. Put down the mic. I want to thank Larry for the job he's done.
All across America.
The mic has been dropped.
The Larry Elder Show.